Hello, hello.
Greetings, everybody. Greetings, and a massive welcome. Today is 3rd of October, and welcome to the Simply Together show. I shall be hosting Dee Bailey. I will be hosting with the awesome Shelley Titmus in the house. And we have, as always, we have an incredible guest, and we kind of know this lady from way back, the awesome Rachel Knight. I just needed to start the show and acknowledge you'd be remiss not to know of, in terms of the young people and the killings that have been happening, not only the young lady who lost her life in, I can't remember where she was now, the brain's just gone blank, in London, and then we've had some in Luton also over the weekend. So our condolences to all the families and friends and the communities, to be honest with you, for all of those involved. We'll perhaps get into that another time, I think, Shell, because we do cover those sort of topics anyway. I've had an absolutely incredible weekend. I am literally bouncing, proper bouncing off the ceiling. Our Shelley doesn't even know this. One of the best days of my life was Sunday. So what happened Sunday? I saw my granddaughter, who I've not seen for nearly 2 years.
Oh.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I'm still on that. No amount of drugs, no amount of money. You're going to tell me I've won 20 million today? Cannot touch the feeling that I had on Sunday. So, yeah, the young people are precious. And when I say we all, I mean we all. Whether you are a parent, a carer, an uncle, an aunt, no matter what your role is in society, we all have a part to play in looking after them. And you hear it all the time, and some people like the village. And it literally is all of us playing a part, safeguarding and looking out for them and looking out for each other. That's kind of a real emotional thing, so I can't go there today, right now. I want to start off with our guest today. Shelley and I, oh my gosh, when I think about it, it's probably over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's always a show off.
So.
There was, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't realise you were that youthful.
Yeah.
That youthful. That's another one of our hosts. She's showing off because she's in Milan. Greetings, Cecile. Yeah, anybody who's watching, let us know where you're watching from. We've had people, I know you're not going to believe me, Rach, we've had people actually from Malawi.
Oh wow.
Was
That's
it?
cool.
You've got to remember, once you're online, it's global, right?
Yeah.
So anybody can be watching anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, welcome everybody, welcome. So we met the lovely Rachel back when we worked for NTL.
Yeah.
Who? Well, they're Virgin now, but back in the day, they were NTL. And if I say to you, for me, I can only talk personally for me, the best time I've ever had.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. The best time ever. The people, the vibe. That was a real
family.
When you say family,
Yeah.
I really, genuinely, it doesn't matter from the top. Do you remember Dinny Jane?
Yeah.
The MD. My God, you would never know he was the MD. Never. you'd think he was just one of us, a call centre worker. You would never know, never know.
He was one of the kind of guys, think, out of all the different call centres and everything I've ever worked in, for him to then say, I'm in the building, if the door's open, you can come in and chat.
Mm.
It was...
And actually mean it, because a lot of them say it, but they don't mean it.
No.
Simply the best.
Nikkei, is Nikkei working today? Because you're actually in the building. Our old building, isn't it? No works there.
Amazing. It was incredible times.
Yeah.
Some
Everyone
of it may
says
be a bit stressful.
nowhere they work now is like there.
Can't touch it.
Yeah.
And I've worked for large organisations. I have. Can't touch it. So, Rach, they're all going like, oh, I remember her. Or some of them. I remember her. If you don't mind, tell me and Shelley are going to be interjected, so don't think, I don't know what to say. Tell us a little bit about you. I want a little bit of a background first before we kind of chat about what we want to chat about. And this show is about if we can educate and help people, that's what we try to do. Tell them a little bit about you, first of all.
So for the past 10 years, I've been a stay-at-home mum. So I've got 2 daughters, one's 10 and one's 11 and one's 9. But I'm also studying a degree in a mixture of child psychology, mental health, and things like that. So I'm on my penultimate module now. I finish next year, hoping that will lead to something in mental health, maybe in schools or something like that.
Excellent.
But I had a bit of a blip. I think it was my memory's really bad now because of that blip. It's caused me issues with memories and things. But about 2 years ago, I had a brain hemorrhage.
So was that during COVID?
So yeah, it was coming to near the end of COVID, but yeah, COVID made it a whole lot worse because I had to be in hospital on my own and all that. And I think homeschooling led me to have my brain. Well, I joke to say that it led me to have it because it was so stressful, but it probably didn't.
Okay, so take us back. You're doing the usual stuff. Obviously, we're in COVID times, so many things were restricted. I understand and appreciate that, but I don't know. How are you actually feeling? And so I don't know.
It was going to be my 40th birthday weekend. I was quite stressed that week with homeschooling. It's January, so it had just been snowing the weekend before. So I was feeling quite emotional. I think in December I'd had quite a few headaches, but I didn't realise anything was going on then. It was just my neighbour's grandson kept coming around and bouncing his ball outside, and it was really affecting me. But I just thought I was stressed and because of COVID and homeschooling and all of that. So then my birthday was on the Friday that week. On Thursday, I woke up and I had a bit of a stiff neck and a headache, like a dull headache. And I thought, because I messaged all my friends and said, I think the stiff neck's either making my head hurt or my headache's making my neck hurt. But I decided to go out for a run. I don't know why, because I thought it might clear my head. So I went for a run. I got about 10 minutes away, and then it felt like my headphones were squashing my head, like a real compression feeling. It was really weird. So I messaged my husband and said, I don't think I can walk. Something weird's happened. Can you come and pick me up? And I joked again, saying, I think I've had a brain hemorrhage, like you do when my head's hurting so much, I think I'm having a brain hemorrhage, not thinking I actually was having one. So he Googled it, took me home and Googled it and thought that I was having a migraine, because I'd never had a migraine before. I've had headaches, but people say migraines are really bad. So I thought it must be a migraine. So I went to bed for the whole day, kept taking painkillers. And then on the Friday, I woke up, it was my 40th, but it was lockdown. So Steve, my husband, had hired a hot tub for me, which was very nice, in the garden. And people kept knocking, socially distanced knocking with presents. And I was drinking alcohol all day. I still had the headache, but I kept taking tablets all day. And then I went into the hot tub, which was like 40 degrees. I probably did everything I shouldn't have done with my brain. I didn't realise my brain was bleeding. And then on the Saturday, I woke up again with my headache, just kept dosing up on tablets all day. And then on the Sunday, I was playing in the garden with the dog, and then I stepped foot back in the house and just collapsed. And the pain felt like my head was being split open. It was like the worst pain I've ever felt. And then it was so painful that I was just throwing up it was just coming out. So Steve rang an ambulance. And when the ambulance came, I think they thought I was drunk because they checked all my vitals from my neck down, and that all looked fine. So they weren't very caring. It was weird. So, and I kept being sick still, and I couldn't speak because it's like a stroke, brain hemorrhage. And then they took me in the ambulance. I'd never been in an ambulance before, so that was quite scary on my own. And Steve couldn't come with me. Well, he was with the kids anyway. And then I went to Bedford Hospital, had to wait for a long time, and my head was like really hurting. And then they took me through for a CAT scan, and then a consultant came to me and said that we found a small bleed on your brain, so we're going to have to blue light you to Addenbrooke's. And it was all weird because I was on my own, and your head's just hurting, you just don't really hear what they're saying. And
I was going to say, you can't be taking any of this really in, can you?
No, so you just go with what's going on. So it was a bit of a blur because I think they gave me some strong painkillers, but it felt like I took 10 minutes to get to Addenbrooke. So, but those ambulance people, they were blue lighting me, and they were really caring then. I remember them being all nice, but everything's a bit, you don't remember bits of it. And then I had, it's called endovascular coiling, where through your groin, they send platinum bits of metal up to your brain, and it puts a spring in your head. It like seals up the aneurysm. So all I had was like a little dot where they'd gone in my artery. If that didn't work, they would have had to cut my head open to do it. So luckily they didn't have to do that. But then I spent about 8 days in hospital recovering after. Yeah. So I ticked that off my bucket list.
Wow.
But they said that I'd had an aneurysm and that I didn't know about in my head. And they said loads of people can have an aneurysm and never know they've got one, and they might be fine. But my one just burst that weekend, so it was bleeding into the brain.
Wow.
But I was gutted because my cake was gone when I got home. All my cards were down. The hot tub was gone.
That's it. That's what I like. Somebody that's going to keep it real. My concern was cake, hot tub, all my birthday treats. God.
Yeah. I know.
Not the fact that, when did it, because I'm listening to you, and even when I was reading your posts.
Yeah.
When did the kind of, I suppose, maybe the magnitude of what really happened sink in? Because it must have been a real, for a while, not really digesting.
It was horrible because no one explained anything either to me. So I went into hospital. Someone in our room had COVID, so then they quarantined us. They took her out. We were supposed to be all COVID free. They tested us before we got into the room. And then this lady that looked like she was at death's door when they were with her, they suddenly whipped her out in the middle of the night, and then they said that she'd had COVID. So then none of the nurses wanted to come into our room or anything. There was 3 of us in there, 2 ladies who had brain tumours and me. And so no one told you anything. They were supposed to give me a big booklet. That was the least that they were supposed to do when I left, but they didn't give it to me. I had to complain. I can't remember who it was I complained to, but there's someone that you can complain to when they don't treat you right in the hospital. And then I got the booklet, and then I started Googling what had happened to me, because I just, from the notes they'd sent me home with, the name of it, so I didn't know what it was that had happened. And then people, after I complained, said there's support groups, counselling groups, and there was a group on Facebook, and that's where I've had the best information, like a support group on there, because 1 in 2 people die from it, like the lady from this morning, who just suddenly dropped down dead the other week. 1 in 2 people die from it, and then the people that survive it normally have disabilities after. So I was really lucky. And then
it is like a stroke.
Yeah.
It's that blockage that could, wherever it
happens. And I've noticed that is it that eye is lower than the other eye now. And at the beginning, I had really bad. I couldn't remember people's names I knew, and I'd leave things cooking, all like things. But there's no one gives you any support after. So they just sent me home with all the morphine, and I had to take these tablets every 4 hours all through the night to stop me going into vascular spasm or something. I don't know, but yeah. So it was a big, and then I started having nightmares and things like that for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, but now it's 2.5 years later. It's okay now.
So do you have to go for checkups? Do you have to?
Yeah. So to start off with, every 6 months I had an MRI, or MRIA it's called. It's a different kind of one. And then the last one that I had, they said it all looked fine, so they don't want me back until 2026 now. But that's quite scary because when I get a niggle or a headache, I think, is it happening again?
Oh wow, yeah.
And you just have to go through it and just wait. And yeah, but yeah, I did have a bit of a accident about 3 months after. I was cleaning my daughter's room and her lava lamp fell on my head. It landed right where I always hit my head right where I had the aneurysm as well. So it was a heavy lava lamp and it landed right on my head. So I had to go to A&E because I rang 111 to make sure I hadn't moved the spring out of they had to do like a CAT scan or something then. I had a massive egghead. But they kept reading the notes saying, a lava lamp fell on your head. It's always like made comical. Serious things. Yeah.
You've just explained that so calmly,
Okay,
and because obviously you've been through it, and just so eloquent, but you've dropped some serious information that I picked up. That 1 in 2.
Yeah. Yeah. And only on the group on Facebook are we all like supporting each other and realise like how scary things are and that. And but yeah, they just like, I don't know if because they're dealing with so much and they're used to it or what, but yeah.
So is there any physical places that you can go to, or is everything online? Or
yeah, there's, what's that, Headway? You can go there if you want to. Yes, I joined that on Facebook. I didn't feel like I needed to go anywhere in the end. Like, it didn't. Yeah, it was just like trying to work through everything. So we had Scottish Widows Private Healthcare, and with that, there was a counsellor, a person that you could speak to. So she rang me up. Caroline Love, her name was, and she was lovely. So I spoke to her quite a bit. Yeah, but I feel okay about it now because it's time's passed. So it was raw for like the first year, and it took a while to recover as well from it. So in the hospital, I couldn't walk for the first 3 or 4 days after the operation, and I had to have a catheter and oxygen and all of that kind of stuff.
that must have been so scary because you're thinking, I'm not really sure what's happened, and then hang on a minute, I can't actually walk. Not because you're in pain, but you couldn't.
A nurse had to take me and shower with me. I said, God, I only turned 40 on Friday. It's like, I didn't realise it was this bad. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just, so I had to defer because I'm studying my degree as well. I had to defer that because I was in the middle of submitting assignments.
Oh, wow.
So they were fine about that. But I feel I've lost my confidence a lot now because I don't remember things. I don't remember words. If I'm reading, I like get blocked, so I can't say the word properly sometimes. Not as bad as I was, but it's made me lose my confidence. So yeah.
You're
and I can never
amazing.
give blood again apparently now either.
No?
Yeah, they sent me
I can't give blood anyway because my count's just too low. But
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I used to regularly do it, and I liked doing that. I felt like I was doing something good, but they said I'm not allowed to anymore now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So much.
A famous person that's had it is Emilia Clarke. Do you know her, the mother of dragons from Game of Thrones? Or she's in
Shellywood.
Did you know her? Yeah. So she had, while she was filming Game of Thrones, she had 2. She had the first one and she was really ill. And then because they said there's a 20% chance of having another one, but she straight away, I think probably about a year later, had another one after. And she's now an advocate for the charity for brain aneurysms awareness.
Wow. Have you got that information? Or I don't know whether or not you've shared that. If we can get that information,
Yeah, if you just Google her, she's got it all on there. Yeah.
To actually share out. The other day you posted on Instagram, and that's where I thought, I'm definitely going to try and tackle you this time. What was it that you posted? Do you remember? There was this.
Yeah, that was the signs. Can't remember where that was. That was from my group that I passed that on, but it was like signs to look out for. So it said about stiff neck, headache. I can't remember what else was on there. So I only remember what happened to me. Those signs.
That's okay, because I've shared it with Shelley. Shelley might be able to share that with people. So it's not a case of, well, I suppose I'm making a presumption here, because just because you've got a stiff neck, it doesn't mean we're saying that you've got that. Does it mean, because sometimes I suppose it's one of those things where not everybody's going to get the same symptoms, right?
Yeah. No, they're not. There was about 5 different things on there, but it's so hard to know because, like, I knew I weren't feeling right that day, but you don't think to go, well, you wouldn't think I've got to go to get checked at a hospital. Yeah, and you don't want to waste their time if anything, but yeah, so I don't know how you would know, because I've had stiff necks, you know, where you sleep funny. I've had that before. So there were other things on there as well, though.
I think she's just.
But when I had the compression thing, because they say that you get a thunderclap headache, that was another thing that was on that list. But I don't know which one was my thunderclap headache, because when I went out for the jog the day before my birthday, and it felt like my earphones were compressing my head, that was an abnormal. So when I thought I was having a brain hemorrhage. Yeah, if you think you're having a brain hemorrhage, don't just joke about it, go and get it checked. But so I don't know if that was the headache sign, because then when I actually collapsed on the Sunday, that was my head hurt so much that day.
Quite a lot of those signs, as you say, it's like a migraine.
Yeah.
When I get my migraines, I have pain around one side of one eye. I have visual disturbances. And you're not necessarily the loss of balance. I get the depth perception wrong. You know, when you go to put your glass down on the side and you miss it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of those are signs that I get when I have my migraines.
Yeah.
So it just shows you, and the same with the strokes. Strokes, you'll get different signs and symptoms. I mean, my mum's stroke, she got hot flush, stars, and then ended up being blind on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
She's not suffered from like your hands and weakness and everything else. So it's with your brain, that it really is something that it's an amazing muscle of nerves and things going on that it just shows you just how much can change.
Yeah. I think my headache was all over my head, and then it felt like my head was in a vice when it suddenly hit me. It was like, felt like it was being squashed. It was a really weird feeling, that first one. And then on the Sunday, it felt like someone was cutting my head open. The pain was so bad. Yeah.
Oh, wow. But guess what? The gorgeous Rachel is here to tell us a tale. Yeah. So what I know, we're going to get messages because people might not be brave enough to message it now. So what did you do?
Anyone can message
How did you celebrate?
How did I celebrate? Well, I didn't celebrate straight away after, because I was recovering. But well, it was a big year because it was my 40th year. Was it that year or the year after? No, it was the year after. We ended up going to Las Vegas to make up for my 40th. So that was good. But it made me realise, like, to do everything you want to do and stuff, because it could have, like, life could have been over then, and to appreciate everything.
Is that the message, as we kind of wrap with yourself for now? Is that the message you want to give to people?
Don't save things. Don't save for big birthdays. Just celebrate every birthday. Eat the cake, but yeah.
Wow. So what about your daughters? Are they kind of like, I mean, at that age, they wouldn't know the severity of how ill you were. But
no, yeah,
were they
didn't until they started thinking, oh, because my youngest came down, and my husband said, oh, mummy's had to go off in an ambulance, and she said, oh, can I have my cake now? Because I had all the cake. She didn't know what was going on. But then, because I was away for quite a few days, and her birthday's 8 days after mine, or a little bit more, she wanted me home for her birthday. So I came out of hospital probably earlier than I should have, because I wanted to get back for her birthday. And luckily, because I'm like OCD and planning things, I'd planned all her birthday before it happened. So Steve didn't have to do a lot. The cake had been ordered and the presents had been wrapped and everything. But I came out that night on her birthday. But now that she's older, she started asking me literally about a week ago about it, like asking what happened and talking about it and stuff. So yeah, they're more aware of it all. And I felt bad. We'd got my puppy a little while before that, and she missed me the most. I think she didn't know what was going on, and then for a while after, every time I coughed, she was by my side, thinking, because I collapsed right like next to her. I was playing with her when, so it affected her.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
For somebody who said that they were, I don't know about this. I'm a little bit nervous, and I'm not sure. When you watch this back, so the family and friends, this is not only on Facebook, it's on YouTube as well.
To hear you. Yeah.
It's on YouTube, Facebook as well. When you watch this back, you'll see how incredible you've been.
I don't like looking at myself, though. I'm looking at you too. I'm not looking at myself.
But it's not about looking at yourself.
I know.
It's about that message.
Yeah.
And you have definitely, we're going to get you back. We've got somebody now, Shell, who can champion some stuff that... What I was going to ask you, one last question. In terms of age-wise, is it something that would happen to maybe more males than females, the other way round? And what's the kind of age that this potentially might happen to you now?
Well, they say actually, when I Googled it, it said from the age of 40 upwards, women can suffer from it. And I was thinking, well, flipping out, I didn't hit 40 that weekend. So it's like, sod's law that happened then. But they say that. But then I've heard of quite a few younger people. So the Amelia Clark, I think she was younger than 40 at the time. And then I don't know if you watched Towie, but Diags from Towie's brother, literally about a month after me, had exactly the same thing happen to him, and he was only in his 20s. He was in Addenbrooke's like a month after me, being dealt with the same thing. So he's young. And then that lady from this morning, I think she was in her 50s. But then I know, well, and I've got a friend actually from around here, and her mum about 40 years ago had one, and she was around my age. But it says older people, I think, and it's people that smoking can cause it and things like that. Stress, high blood pressure. I have low blood pressure. But aneurysms can be hereditary. And then recently, a friend that I knew a long time ago contacted me because she'd seen what I'd been putting on Facebook, and she was having headaches. So she went to the hospital to get her headaches checked, and they found 2 aneurysms in her head that haven't burst. And they're just monitoring them like yearly now. They won't. And I think recently they've said to her, if you want to, we can operate on them now, because they'll only operate if they're a certain size. Otherwise, they just leave them. And I don't know if it's worse, like knowing you've got them or not knowing you've got one and then something happening. But she lives life to the fullest. She's like, does everything. She exercises. She's on holidays. So I don't know if she's going to get them operated on or what. But she contacted me because she'd seen what I'd been posting.
So you understand the importance of what you're doing. Well, you might not, but you are.
Yeah.
So thank you, Rachel. Honestly, thank you.
Thank you for letting me speak on
if when we say to people to share, this is a kind of, it may not be you, but can you imagine you've shared it with somebody who's then told somebody, and they've then, all what you've just said. So
even if one person then suddenly feels something and gets checked, and then it's worth talking about.
It is. We normally, I do want to tell you straight off, we normally have 2 guests.
Oh, do you?
Yes, we do.
Have I talked so much that you didn't need another one?
You were important to talk so
I've not
much.
changed.
Yeah, honestly, thank you so much. If you have 5 minutes, because what I asked you to do, we're just going to kind of wrap up our show for today, and then we'd just like to have just thank you personally afterwards, if that's all right. So we'll bring you off for a moment, and then we'll bring you back on. Thank you so
very
much.
then.
No problem, darling. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Wow.
I've put some links, as I normally do. Put some links in. So you've got the signs and symptoms in there. You've got headway, and there was a support page that I found. And the other thing I put in there was the one that was just talking about with Amelia Clark. It's called Same You. And that has actually got quite a lot of information on there. And that didn't show up, weirdly, when I did a Google search. So it just shows you that you need following and sharing and listening and sharing again.
Yep.
It's how you find some of these pages and things. Don't automatically assume the doctor's going to give you the details and stuff. So, yes.
Yeah, and even as much as Rachel, she's just like, oh, she just shares things, but somebody's seen that, questioned something, gone and got it checked, and that's what it's about. Absolutely incredible. It is a Simply Together show, and we have to keep it real. Started off with, and we can't go there 100%. I know Amy, can't think of her surname. You know our Amy that we know.
Amy Ricks.
That's it. You know,
Amy
so many
Ricks,
Amy's.
artist.
Yeah.
I'm
not sure.
was trying to find her page.
Post.
Bring that up. Yeah.
What can you, when I point at you, what can you, me, we, that's a royal we, that's all of us, not just those people there, those people at school, the teachers, it's all down to them. It's all down to those parents. It's all down to the police. It's all down to, that's right, Louise Clark. You know, when things are happening, sometimes it's like, why not point the finger at yourself and say, what are you doing? Is there anything that you can do to help and support? Individual organisations cannot do it on their own.
No.
And do you know what? As a parent and as a grandparent, first and foremost, before anything else, I am. It's not easy. And guess what? You've got two parents, and everyone's like, right, you've got it sussed. You've got all the answers. There isn't a book. So sharing, talking, supporting, understanding, because I know a lot of us, and I'll say us, we are judgmental. And as soon as we see something or read something or hear something, we've already assessed a situation. What do we actually know? So we want to kind of finish up. We need to be mindful when we say things. And when we post things, certainly on social media as well. The impact of whatever it is that you're posting or sharing can have on people, on families.
I'm just putting in on the chat. It's not letting me share the actual post itself, I don't think.
What Amy's post?
Yeah. putting the details in on the...
When is that? Is that today or tomorrow?
It's tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, 7 till 7:30. The bandstand, new bandstand at Wardown Park. Just everyone just getting together, and candles. I would say candles in jars, I think is where I've seen it somewhere. Make sure it's a candle in a jar.
Amy needs to make sure she invites a fire brigade, because just in case.
But they are just across the road. Literally across the road from there. But yeah, just for everyone to actually then get together, and no matter what faith, no matter what background, no matter what age you are, just everyone getting together. And as you say, it's the village that then brings it along. I mean, you can't then just then say so and so needs to do this and they need to do that, and then okay, you bring the parents involved and they then become prosecuted. There's a lot that's been bandied about how to fix it, rather than there's plenty of, as we go back to charities, that are plugging these holes, that are trying to make a difference. And it is the grassroots, and we do know of people that are in our community that are trying to make these differences. But it's as soon as you put someone in authority in front of someone, they do kick off quite often. And it's just then saying to them that we've been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirt. This has been going on for years and years and years. Kids nowadays need to understand it in a different way of how to get through life. And yeah, it just seems to be more and more. I mean, they've got into 17, 18, I think, for London already this year, for those that are then under the age of 18, that have died. And then just recently in our area of Luton, of different instances of how things have happened. And it's a difficult one, and everyone blames each other. And everyone's blaming a particular thing that's then going on. And it's, I suppose, when I was growing up, you had the postcode wars, but it was that you'd have a full-on fight. And it is all to do with, oh, we're better than you, and trying to protect yourself. And that's where things kind of get now. And for those people that are trying to make a change but don't actually get what's going on. For instance, there was someone that I was talking to that was then saying having metal detectors that you could buy at home, like have at home, make sure your kids are not carrying any weapons. As a dog walker, I can tell you, on my field, I know there are certain stash places. And unfortunately, the kids know where they can go and where they can go, and yeah, it does get difficult. And this is a difficult one for us to talk about. But yes, so we will be there at some point, as I said, of tomorrow evening. And as Louise just said, she's going to check about the fire brigade. They are only across the road, Louise. It's just over in Studley. But I mean, yeah, I've known them come running across with a bucket before into the middle of the park, rather than getting the fire engine out. And it wasn't me that was causing the fire. I happened to see what was going on. I didn't cause it. Just realised how I said that then.
it's so, can't think of the word that I want to use, but just putting it out there.
It's kind of frustrating, but a 1,000 times worse than frustrating.
I put out,
yeah.
so I think, I don't know, it was maybe last week or something that I saw that Baroness, we spoke about it last week, didn't we? Baroness Doreen Lawrence at the university is going to be doing a talk, and on Zoom, going to watch it on Zoom, and the real talk was going to be later. I was going to be doing that on Zoom. Now, this morning, I've actually got an in-person ticket. Now, you can imagine, real talk, cancelled. Cancel. Got the opportunity, can't pass on this opportunity. And considering what is currently going on, I think it's going to be a powerful evening. So I will report back on that at some stage. So I'm cancelling. So sorry to Trey, I haven't contacted you yet to cancel tonight. But I'm sure you can understand why. So on that note, we are going to be back next Tuesday, another awesome show, some awesome guests being lined up. We are going to be doing a Real Talk Simply Deez special next Thursday, 12th of October, and we're screening The Barrel Children.
Oh, hang on.
What's that? If you don't know, we're not going to tell you, because I believe there's something like 15 tickets left.
Drip feeding these tickets in, and it was like, oh, they've sold. Perhaps we need to do some more. Like, oh, perhaps we need to do some more.
Exactly that, Shell. Exactly that. So there's a few tickets left. So even, you know, your really good friends who are like, I'll buy. When you don't buy and you see there's none there, we're good, but we're not good. We don't do magic. It can only accommodate so many. The seats are there. If you want a seat, I suggest you book it. Look forward to an absolutely incredible evening. The documentary, we have the Q&A with the director, Nadine White, an incredible young lady, not met before, so looking forward to that. We've also been reaching out to those that would class themselves as a barrel child and have a story to share and tell. And we're going to have a special spoken word performance also as well. Oh my God, all of that. We don't do lickle at Simply Deez. Shell's going, no, we bloody don't. And then, you know, 2 weeks later, 21st of October, Luton Black Culture Business Market.
That's now being off your tongue quicker now.
It is, isn't it? Let me tell you now. 30 exhibitors. When I say confirmed, oh yeah, Dee. Well, I got their money, so they're confirmed. We have no space. Full up. I've had somebody speak to me today, somebody I know very well. I'm like, sorry, I've not got around to you. I said, no point. I said, we're full. Proper full. So that's going to be incredible as well. So there's lots of things going on.
Sitting up on the stairs as you go.
Rachel, I've had Beth ringing me while we're on the show. We've got 2 awesome caterers, loads of stuff. You're going to hear more about that. It is October. It is Black History Month. Black History Month is 365. But you know what? There is a focus in October. There's loads of things going on locally. Get yourself involved. No one, I don't care who you are, knows everything about everything. If you've got things to share, contact us. We'll do our best where we can, depending obviously what it is. and we will help you share that, get the message out there. If you want to come on the show, we're here. So we are out of here for now. We will catch you really soon. I am off to see Baroness Doreen later. Nobody call me. I'm busy. Nicole, Nanny loves you. Right, we are gone. We will catch you next week. So much in a world of where we're at. Just try and do your best. Don't forget to look after yourself, Rita James. Don't forget to look after yourself. But if you can help, and your help might be you've shared something. Do you know what? As Rachel's done, that's potentially saved somebody's life.
Yep.
It didn't cost her anything. Okay, I could go on and on and on, but we're not. We're out of here. I need to keep my job. See you later. Bye.